Hello and welcome to the Sound Financial Group podcast. I am joined today in a conversation about avoiding investment scams by a man who has never implemented one, Corey Shepard.
Thank you for that glowing introduction. That's like this. You have never started a scam. That's how good you are.
That's how good you. Yep, that's how good. That's how good we are as a firm. We've never had to scam anybody. Which, just for fun, at the start of our episode here, I want to call your attention to these ever
they already noticed.
Chic.
They didn't need it. Yeah.
Ooh, well, yeah, but I got to give you credit. Corey's been working with Crystal over at Anejo.
Yeah.
Conejo Awards is the name of her company. So shout out to Crystal. Thank you so much for getting us equipped with these. I was telling Corey, I'm ready to start a merch store. All the YouTubers got them. We should have a merch store. Yeah.
That's right.
What I'm thinking is a just a coffee tumbler, something like this, that says on the side, I'm not going to live with my kids when I'm old because I have to. Are you? Question mark. And then we'll just put our contact information on the bottom so that when they're drinking in front of their friends,
yeah,
it'll show our contact info. So it's just very important we put it oriented the right way to the cup handle.
I mean, I think we might workshop the copy just a little bit. I like the general idea for sure. For sure. I was also thinking, like the Sound Financial Group Lamborghini or something like that,
Well, I mean, at least one.
Well,
could we buy a scrap one, like an old beat up one that doesn't run, and we just get it wrapped so we don't even have to make sure the paint is squared away. We just wrap it and then take pictures of it for our website. And be like, we're so committed to being responsible with our finances that we didn't put a real Lamborghini on our homepage.
Right.
All right. Should we, speaking of scams people pull on people, should we talk a little bit about scams people get caught up in?
Now, first of all, I would just like to, bring the energy down for a second and say there's nothing fun about this. A lot of people have lost huge amounts of money in scams like these. We're only doing this because we become aware of people losing money in some of these scams. So we want to do everything we can to help prevent that in the future. So if we laugh at various times during this episode, which we'll try to be a little more somber, except we want to be entertaining at the same time. But we're not saying that it's not a serious issue and it's a big deal. And we just want a lot of people to hear about this because that's the way that we win over the scammers.
Indeed. And for those of you that have watched Bernie Madoff's, the documentary on Bernie Madoff, it's on Netflix. You will see the reason that scam got so big is he was really, really good at making it look like it was real for decades and decades and decades. Fake statements, everything. Now he had certain attributes that should make you alert. For instance, when you're questioning him, he'd be like, you're out of the fund, and send people their money back. And so he created, because so many of his clients knew each other, he created this fear to even ask in. Because if you asked how he's producing the returns, you could get kicked out of the fund. So there were red flags, but much like red flags in dating where somebody's like, oh, I should have seen that coming 6 months ago. Often that happens to investors after they've gotten into something that isn't going to work. And after they've gotten into something that isn't going to work, they can't get back out of it. And the worst thing about this is when people are defrauded, it is embarrassing. For some people, there's deep feelings of shame because maybe they lost their money and their spouse's money. They may have invited other people to get into it. And because of all of that, they can carry around this deep shame, which has them not even talk about them being defrauded, and therefore lets the scammers have greater impact on the American public because people don't talk about it. So with that,
we're doing this so that they don't have to feel the shame. And They
That's right.
could forward this to, so we're trying to help both sides of that equation. Yeah.
Which, if you are somebody who has ever been impacted by a scam, or you think you might be in an investment position right now that could be unethical, feel free to forward that along to us. We're happy to take a look at no charge. info@sfgway.com. That's soundfinancialgroupway.com. You can email us the accompanying documentation. We'll reach out to you. And if we need to be a little bit of an aggregator here to point out some of these, to then be able to bring, a regulator in or somebody that can go deeper into the investigation, we're more than happy to do that. So one of the first things we're going to look at is just the general investing scam, where somebody says, we are going to invest money. We are doing it by some unique proprietary strategy. It almost always involves that. Mm-hmm. And we are going to deliver outrageous returns. It almost always involves an outrageous return. Now, what do I mean by outrageous return? Outrageous is anything that you can't see fundamentally supported economically. So one
higher than anything else you've ever seen. It's like that you can see out there in the market. Yeah.
And there's kind of two versions of how they lead you on with these. One is with slightly higher returns in the market, say 20, 25%. Now I say slightly as compared to the 5,400% return that some of these we're going to look at actually promise to their investors. Mm-hmm. 5,400% per annum, or 1.4-ish or whatever it was per day, compounding. Now, here's the problem that we all have when someone lies to us. They are lying to us because they're telling us something they know, or at least believe, that we want to hear. Okay. So that's why it's hard to not believe somebody when they're feeding you a load of hooey on these investments. Is we want to hear it. Don't we all want 5,400% return in a year? Doesn't it seem like if you got into it and got connected to it, or you knew somebody that was in it, it's like, I could roll the dice with $5,000. I mean, what the heck? And that's fine with the scammer. Perfectly fine. In fact, there was one crypto scam that I think is similar to one of them that we're going to look at today, where what they did was use private WhatsApp chats. Then investors said, okay, I was supposed to get my money out in 60 days. Where's my money? Literally what they would do is say, well, we just love having you an investor. We just need you to record a testimonial first, and then we'll get you paid out. Then they get them to put their testimonial in this private group and then kick them from the group so that nobody else in there knows. And they're saying, hey, it's great and all's well, and this has been a great investment. And that is that person trying to hold you over the barrel to keep the fraud going long enough to get a few more people in. So
it's like the new version of the phone number of your specialty broker was disconnected, like that. Like you just can't get anything from them anymore. Yeah,
that's right. And I'm going to show you guys what about the worst thing is that you could see when you're looking at one of these. Now, right before I do this, there are going to be actual company names here. Actual companies actually doing business who may or may not be fraudulent, guys. Like, we are not a court of law here. I'm not trying to condemn anybody. Also, really hoping not to get sued about doing this episode. And because of that, like, innocent till proven guilty in a court of law, etc. So all of those things. So let's just say one big allegedly, Corey.
Allegedly.
Well, it's our big allegedly at the beginning.
Yeah.
So that I want you to know that there are things that don't look right about some of these. We're going to point those out. These could possibly not be scams. Now, if I had to be a betting man, I'm not putting money in them.
I'm not putting money on it. But if they are real, it's like, okay, these are things that scams look like. So don't make your site look like a scam if you're not. Like, so hopefully if it's a real business, we can help them out a little
yes.
bit.
Yeah, to just not look like some of these are going to look. All right, let's go to our first one. This is the worst thing you could see if you've invested in a company. And this is the website you go to to see how your investments are doing. Now, this particular company has had this page for at least a month, I think. It's just nobody can get in, nobody can see it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Your asset, your data is safe and assets fully insured. So just don't worry. Yeah, don't worry. They're fully insured by the rocket ship that's flying off the planet, maybe with all your money. I don't know. But that is the thing you most don't want to see. Now, let's see what this company was promising investors, okay? We are going over here to this YouTube video by Golden City Capitals. Now,
Golden Capitals. This is also part of the problem is there are a lot of variations on this name. Some of them are the same company, slightly changing their name. Some of them are entirely different companies. So it makes it tricky to track down what's real. Yeah.
Now, by the way, now this isn't the big deciding factor, but let me just point this out. The YouTube channel that this company has one video that was posted 1 year ago. That's it. That could be a little bit of an indicator if it's like, oh, they threw something up on YouTube once to have an ad that was housed on the internet for free that they could share probably in other forums. All right, so we're going to show you this video, which is of an investment opportunity that was one video on their one YouTube channel, and they didn't post anything else. There's some bot comments I'm going to show you in a minute, but let's look at what they were promising. Got that soothing music?
Golden Capital Limited is an investment and fiduciary management firm. We offer investment services and financial consultation on a small scale to individuals, and even on a larger scale to brands and companies.
Can you pause it for a second? Hold on. What is financial, investment services for a brand? Like in this context, brands and companies is like a company is a company, and they have lots of brands that they might own, but it's just like it's words, more words that aren't saying more.
Yes.
It's kind of what the theme is of
words,
this. Lots of
word salad. This is like 6 minutes of word salad if you guys listen to the whole thing.
At Golden Capital, we believe in consistent growth and diversity as the key to financial liberty.
All the buzzwords, right? Financial liberty. Like, I can tell you, I like that so much, this idea of financial liberty. It's like, oh, I would use that, except I don't want to sound like a scam.
Our mission is to create long-term value for our investors through the careful stewardship of their capital.
Now, I am not going to make fun of either this person's age or inexperience, as Ronald Reagan would say. But the thing to notice is this is our spokesmodel, whoever the spokesmodel is. Now, he didn't say anything about it, but if you are this, young, up-and-coming entrepreneur and you've developed this program, and then say who you are. He doesn't say who he is. That's another thing to be cautious of. Is I'm with so-and-so. And what some of the scams and some mini documentaries online, shout out to CoffeeZilla, who does a great job with these. But he talks about all the time that sometimes these folks just hire actors to be their CEO or to be their head of HR or whatever. Then he finds them on the, acting websites where they get hired.
Wow. We invest across the alternative asset classes in private equity, stockbroking, real estate, cryptocurrency.
Stockbroking's not a thing, by the way.
Investment banking, credit, and hedge funds, as well.
There's more. Hang on. Wait, we got to let it finish. As well as
structure, insurance, and capital growth equity from the major capital markets.
Now, I think he just mentioned nearly every single thing you could invest in, possibly in a financial market.
And he said we serve individuals, companies, brands. What he basically said is he could have shortened that whole opening of 55 seconds. Could have been, hi, we're whoever, and we invest in anything for anybody.
We do everything for everyone. That's it.
And then stewardship, liberty. Okay.
Well, he didn't say pork belly futures.
He did not. Yes. So
they really lost opportunity. Their new market that they could get into. Sorry.
Okay. So we're going to get to their strategy. Okay. Maybe it's probably better to let him say it. Okay. Here we go. I got to get back to the beginning of the R strat. Here we go.
To a wider audience of investors. Our strategy is unconstrained by asset class, industry, sector, security type, or geography, and as such, whether in times of stability or volatility, in good markets or in bad, there are always strategic opportunities for the company with the skills and talent to see what others don't.
That was, again, perfect word salad. Like, didn't say anything about talented people. Here's the hole that we try to exploit. Anything like that. Very general, but very big words. It sounds very attractive. Mm-hmm. And for many investors, you might be like, alternate asset. That sounds so cool. It doesn't matter what type of asset. Like, that should get your attention, because often regulations would say they may be limited the type of assets they could get.
Right. There's also little typos throughout all of this, and that could happen to any company. Stock broking. It's brokering. Yeah, I don't know what stock broking is.
Maybe if the investors don't get their money back, that's called stock broking.
Yeah. If it ain't fixed, don't broke it. Also, like, one of the words was capitalized in the middle of a sentence. There wasn't a period, and any one of those. But they tend not to happen in companies that are really serious about being real about what they do.
Yes, that's a great point. And if they did, and you pointed out to them, they'd be all over it like white on rice. They wouldn't hesitate to fix it almost immediately. So that's a little bit about their strategy. So let's just see what it takes in order to invest in this. Now, keep in mind, there's some kind of buildup. Remember, there's also a sales process when people get on the phone with them, etc. But we're going about 3 minutes, 58 seconds in, which, by the way, let's go ahead, Miranda, and let's put the link to this video in the description. We're going to drive his views up. But next to it in the description, it should say, do not invest with them. Maybe a scam.
Right.
Just put that right in the description. I'll take our legal risk that far. So here is what they're offering. You could get the starter plan, Corey. So I'm just going to sell it to you. Okay. Starter plan, minimum startup fee, $100. Now, by the way, this particular entity, if my memory serves me right, didn't call it an initial investment. They called it a starter fee. So watch out for that change of language. Because then when somebody tries to say, like, no, that was your starter fee with us. That wasn't your investment. Like, once you paid that, it was gone. We were just going to try to get you a return, or whatever they say.
But so you could pay a higher fee and then get a daily rate of return of 1.1%.
Yes.
Now, would this be a good time to do a little math?
Not yet. I want to get down to the big one. The primary plan. Can I get this? I can't get my little bar to go away. So it is great. Let's just let him say it once, because I just can't believe he says this.
Trading days. 2, basic plan. This plan has a minimum startup fee of $1,000, daily ROI of 1.17%, and a service charge of 30% after 90 trading days.
So, Corey, what would that 1.25% be in actual annual ROI if they're giving us that return daily compounding?
1.25? Oh, is that the bottom one?
Yeah, that's the 1.25. Because, I mean, come on. If we're going to get started with this group, we should start with at least $5,000.
Right. So, we're going to put in. Now, I did this originally on my good old HP style financial calculator. Mm-hmm. And can you see? Oh, can I share my screen?
Hang on. Yeah, you can. I just got to do something with it. Hang on. Let me see. I think I can. Can I just make it guest 2? Hang on. I got to there's an extra thing I have to do, Corey, to bring your screen up on my screen. But I'm going to figure it out. And our audience is so compassionate. They are going to not mind waiting, I hope. Guest. Oh, here we go. I know how I'll do it. I'm going to go here, here, and then guest 2. There you go, Corey.
Cool.
I think maybe can I put you back? Oh, look at that. God.
Nice.
You in there.
No, I can't see us at the moment, but that's okay. I'll
make funny faces. I'm not on screen.
So I did this with my HP style calculator on my phone, but I found a site just to show everybody what this looks like. So 1.25 interest. Now, interest per year is what they say in here, because that's normally how you're trying to calculate it. But if I put in 365 periods, then that will compound that 1.25 365 times in a year, once per day. Present value, let's give it a
$5,000.
Oh, 5,000.
5,000. Right. Yeah, we're going to put in $5,000. That's because we're doing the primary plan. It's not platinum plan. I don't know why they call it the primary plan.
Right. Well, now he did say 90 days of trading. So let's start with the year though, because I just want to see what it grows to.
Because if we get that kind of return, aren't we going to put it right back in? We'd have to.
So check this. You start with your 5,000.
Yep, it's going well to start with.
In a month, you got 5,800. So, that doesn't seem like that big of a change, but things are going in a great direction. Or sorry, in 12 days, you have 5,800. By the time you get to 365 days, you have $465,000.
I already regret not having put in 15,000.
So, but just to cement the
do that
math
90-day thing. Yeah.
Mine. Well, like $1.
Oh yeah.
Grows to $93. So nearly
a 300% return.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 1,000. It's crazy.
Now let's do this, Corey. I'm going to go back to my screen for just a moment.
Okay.
And what we'll see is with each of these plans now, there is this thing called a service fee. Well, what they did is they tell their investors, like, after you make this money, after 90 days, you get your money back. We just need a service fee. And the service
seems
fee
reasonable. Now here,
that's it. Seems
at first it seems reasonable to say, well, if you're making me $500,000 in 1 year off of a $5,000 investment,
love to share 30% with you.
Yeah,
love to.
Right, I'm still really doing really, really good. Now, before we get to, I think I know where you were going, Paul. I want to say one thing about economics, and that is supply and demand and market forces would say that if they really are that good and they're that much better than everybody else out there, they don't have to pay you that much. Like if all you got was 25% return per year, if you could turn your 5,000 into 20,000 in a year, so many people would be so happy. They would take that offer left and right.
I was going to say, if it could be done.
If it could be done.
Yep.
So that's what the reason why this is economically not feasible is if someone was that good, head and shoulders above everyone else in producing that investment return, they would not have to give you so much of it.
Well,
they would not have to pay you so much on your investment.
Let's think about this. Let's say the founder of this company only had $50,000. So without us cutting back to your calculator, Corey, if we had somebody who had $50,000 and we get a 93x return on 50 grand, what is that going to be? 93 times 50 grand?
So it's $50,000
times 93.
Times 93. Well, that my other calculator's not right. Yeah, I just do times 93 is 4.6 million.
Yeah, so think about that if you had this company and you could produce these returns, why would you tell anybody else about it? What I often say is not to say nobody could do that. The thing is, nobody who could do that would tell you, because they would just be somewhere. Because now that next year, that whatever 4 million you just talked about next year is going to be 400 million. So why would they need you in there messing up their trading algorithm with additional volume? And this fact that they say it grows and they stay in communication with you, keep, making you feel good about it. And then when it comes time to take money out in 90 days, you have to first transfer 30% of that. So now if you had grown $400,000, and probably what happens, people say, well, it's up. Do you want to take the money out? Nah, let's just keep it rolling. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And now, let's say it's 450,000. You're like, I don't have that much cash to pull. Like, well, what do you have? Right? And then, and they suck it in and don't send the money out. Now, I'm not saying this company does that. But what I am saying,
this is the other part about that 30% fee, that service charge.
This company did do this.
Yeah, they did do this, right? Shut down their website. But also, if any investment company says, before we can give you your money, you have to pay us the fee out of cash from another account, another red flag.
Yeah.
Any reputable company is going to net their fee out of what they already, if they were actually growing the money, they would just take it out of there. That's just so much easier from an operational standpoint. Like, they can just do it because they're already managing the money.
Yeah.
So that's another red flag. Also, if the company you're investing with is the only one telling you what's there or not, or how it's growing, big red flag. We have third-party custodians that are totally unrelated to us to tell clients what the rate of return is in their accounts, what's happening. Someone else is holding the money.
Yes.
Super important for accountability.
Yes. And now I just pulled this up because there were more plans. There's also the standard plan. Then you have the capitalist plan, minimum investment of 30,000, minimum fee of 50,000, startup fee. Remember, not investment, startup fee. Very specific in that language. And then if I get over here, I think they also have some memberships you could be a part of. Yeah, there you go. So you could get the gold contract package. So you pay extra, but then you get better cash out rates. You can see the service fee drops. And by giving these lots of options and ways to engage them, what you're giving the person who's potentially being defrauded multiple options to have them feel like they're in control, such that it allays the suspicion of the thing, that you're not pushing. Because think about it, each one of these is obviously amazingly profitable for them, or they wouldn't do it. Right. And how good does it feel? Well, I can't quite do the platinum pack. Hey, you know what? Why don't we just do the special package then? We'll just get you in for a little bit. And that's the last thing I would mention, is that on this type of thing, if they're saying they have true alternatives, they're going to produce these returns, everything else, and they have a very low investment minimum, it's probably a fraud. Because then going back to our conversation of if they could do this, and even if they wanted to share with people, would you rather have 5 billionaires who you had to pay interest to, or 7,000 individual investors? Operationally, It's just way easier to have very few people invested with you.
Yep.
So one more that I want to get on everybody's radar. This is another company that sounds real similar. Now, I have no idea if this is legit or non-legit. It looks like we could pull up the website in both Spanish and in English. Last week when we were doing our research, where it said there was just 6 days left, Corey, that's passed.
Oh, yeah. There was a weird countdown clock that didn't say what it was counting down to.
Yeah.
But
unless maybe this is a conference or something. I don't know. But anyway, we couldn't figure out what it was counting down to. But
and we were looking at the English side, by the way.
Yeah. We weren't looking at Spanish. But it is funny. There's a few of these you'll see. And these are other things to just pay attention to. You can see translated English, not translated English, not translated English. So that's something to be aware of when you see those little things out of place.
Real customer base of growing happy customers, someone would have pointed it out, and they would have been on it like water and rice, like you said, to get that fixed.
Yep. And when we clicked in on this website to say, find out what you could do. Let me show you guys. I just clicked on it, but I want to have you guys watch me do it. So I go down here and I say, wow, this does really sound interesting. I might want to do it. 70 plus countries, etc. Discover it. Man, I'm in. Let's do it. Oh, I have to download WhatsApp to correspond with them. Anybody who's offering you investments and they say that how you're going to communicate is WhatsApp. I don't even know if Dust is still around. Mark Cuban's company, Dust was one years ago. Any of these encrypted apps that they would say you should communicate with them on, run. Just run. Too anonymous, too easy to get ghosted, very little accountability. You can't track where somebody is. Like, at least by other older forms of communication, you at least end up gathering some data that you could share with authorities, but all you can share with somebody is a WhatsApp handle, and that could change overnight. Mm-hmm. So if anybody points you to WhatsApp to find out about an investment, run. And last but not least, even if you're not well-versed in economics, inquire as to their economic model. How are you producing these returns? If they are not open in sharing the way that they're producing the returns, then that's a good indicator that they may not be producing the returns. Because once you start having somebody say you're going to get 12, 14, 15, take lending on first deeds of trust as an example. If you're lending to somebody at 15, well, you probably have a piece of real estate that's securing the note that's at least 60%, where the note is only 60% of the real estate value. So you have a fully collateralized piece of real estate. And even those deals can be sticky. They can still have things go wrong with them, but at least you're secured by a piece of real estate. And we understand that that's more risk and more work that goes into it. So when somebody's offering you 20, 25, or 9,300% a year, then that what they're doing is, as long as you're aware and you lock in your head some of the things we talked about today, they will tell on themselves during their pitch. You just need to understand the language of what they're telling you so that you can see through it.
You know, in our book, Your Business, Your Wealth, we talk about how rate of return is produced. And we're not going to go into the details of it, but one of the things we talk about there is, if you can't tell what you're doing to earn your seat at the table, you're not sitting at the table, you're getting served on the table on a platter. So it's another version of, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Like, if you can't understand how they're producing this crazy rate of return, then they're not, most likely. Allegedly. We'll finish with one.
Well, we're going to finish with something fun from a past episode. And that is, I think this one. I got to double check. I got the right one. Yes, Corey. From our last session when you and I were together, we did this video where you were located in some mystery location. We gave our audience the chance to win a $100 gift card to find out who it was.
And I'm not unhappy to be there. It's just the sun was bright. I think just that.
Oh, did you look unhappy?
Look at that. I'm like, no.
That's what his face looks like when I ask for budget approval. And then that's also what his face looks like if I didn't ask for budget approval and I just did something. So it's we'll just call that the budget approval face. But our winner was Alan Escalin. So was that the closest, or was he dead on?
Oh yeah. He was like pretty dead on. Other folks made references to general locations, but municipality of LaConner, that was very, very well done.
Well, and how do I spell en route? I don't want to post this all over the internet, not knowing how to.
Just put a space in there.
Oh,
between and yeah. There you go.
I'm a big fan of compound words. Okay, so then we will let Alan know that he won, and because Corey mentioned the podcast today, if anybody wants to just write in below, say, I subscribed, put a comment in, heck, send me an email at info@sfgwa.com. Just tell me you texted the episode to somebody and we will send you, I think we can do this still, Corey, a PDF copy of Sound Financial Advice.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you guys share it, comment below, anything like that, just shoot us an email, tell us you did it. We'll believe you on our system and we'll email you a copy of Sound Financial Advice. Still an incredibly relevant book to give you the best opportunity that you would need to help yourself design and build a good life. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.